Recording. Be closer. Come on. Oh, apologies for the darkness. This room is not bright. I have one light which is behind me. Anyways. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been quite some time again since the last video. 3 months. When did I do my first Warhammer video? 8 months ago. Yeah, I'm bad at this. Honestly, it's not for lack of trying. I just sometimes find it hard to find the time or the motivation to do anything once I've finished work. Got a full-time job. I have hobbies that I try to, or other hobbies that I try to keep up with. I haven't done any music for a long time, and sometimes I just don't want to. You know, you just feel drained. So apologies that I am bad at this. Video making is difficult. But what has changed in the last 3 months since I did my last video? Well, you'll probably remember that the minis that I had left to paint are the Ork Boss Nob. Is he a knob? I don't know. He's just that boss. And I had one remaining model from the Boyz set that I had not painted up, saving that one for my girlfriend. She came over, we were doing other things. Should I include that? I don't know. Model painting was not on the agenda for that for that time, so I painted them both up. I didn't record the boy, but I did record some of the boss. So here's a quick overview of the paint scheme that I used for those boys on the boss. Yeah, I think he turned out okay. He's one of the better ones I've done. I think his skin looks a lot better than most others. You'll notice that I do have some additions to the work setup behind me, or the hobby setup. So what I have added is a wet palette. I was trying to use this palette for a long time. I just found that it just kept drying too quickly. I can never add enough water. I would constantly just be adding water to this thing. And Midwinter Minis, as much as it was a good start, you know, it was fine to start with painting a few models at a time. I don't think this is the way. Reevaluate your wet palette thoughts. It's fine, I guess. Maybe it would be better if I primed it, but I just found things went a lot smoother for me when I was using the wet palette. I could feel like I was getting the layers a bit thinner and more consistent, so I'm going to stick with the wet palette for now, but this is a good backup. I also purchased a set of Army Painter Speed Paint Most Wanted 2.0. So I have intentions to use this. I didn't use it very much on the Boss Nob. I just used my old paint scheme, you know, with actual layers, but I think when I'm getting to painting a lot of Boyz, I'm going to want to use these, so I'm going to try them. We'll see how it goes. You know, it was a little expensive, but it has a lot of colours in here, and I think it will be very good for some other models that I've got planned. I would say those are the main things. I also upgraded my 3D printer to an X1 Carbon. Maybe it was a bit hasty, but I have had an Anycubic Mega S sitting around for a while. And it has been working on and off. It's just a lot of faff to deal with. I did enjoy 3D printing. I've 3D printed a few things in the past, but leveling, manual bed leveling, when you just want to get a model, print it and be done with it, yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, it's not fun. I just wanted a printer that was decent, that could print, you know, do anything, more like an appliance, and the X1 Carbon seemed to fit the bill. I do realise that there's the P1P, that's not an enclosed one. They now come on, literally a week after I bought this thing, they come out with the P1S, which is an enclosed P1P. If that was out and I knew that was coming, I would have got that. Thanks. But I'm thrilled with it. It's printed a lot of desk management stuff for me, so all of my paints are now a bit more organised and they're no longer scattered across the desk, and I've got some Vallejo waiting to be printed, or I've got some Vallejo paints waiting to be put into their own sort of section, so I've still got a bit more to do, and I'll do a time lapse of that now if I get around to actually printing it before this video goes out. So yeah, I've been busy upgrading the setup, just not painting. And think, oh, maybe I've got no models to paint. For the last few videos, in the background, there has been a teaser just sort of sitting there of what I plan to do next. I don't know if anyone might have noticed it. It's been there, and it's to the right of me right now. Yes, I did purchase a Ork Combat Patrol, and this is the next project that I'm going to paint up. I did buy this maybe 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. I don't know, it's been sitting here for a long time. I was really thrilled. I thought it was a good deal, good bargain. 25 minis for roughly 70, 80 pounds. Yeah, that's the next project. But for today, pretty much the rest of this video is going to be a time lapse of me just building this. It's gonna take me a few days. I don't expect the next video to be out for maybe another couple weeks. So apologies, I'm just not fast at working. Maybe it'll be sooner. I'm just doing an impromptu video, to be honest. I had no intentions of releasing this one. I have this weird block where I feel like I have to make a full professional project before it should be put out to the world. And honestly, that's if I want to do this more, I need to be a bit more casual about it. So I'm gonna try and get some more out, but in the meantime, yeah, I'm gonna be working on these. So enjoy the time lapse. And we are back. It's been, I would say, over a week since the last clip. I did finish the Orks in about a week in terms of building them. I also had work to do and get done in between, so yeah, it took a bit longer than I thought. The Boyz weren't too bad. They took maybe 2 days to get done. I sort of done a group of Boyz per day. The Death Copters, they were okay. There was a lot of mold lines and a lot of cleaning up. The War Boss was absolutely fine. I don't think he had many mold lines at all. I think I had the most trouble with the Death Dread. It's an interesting kit. So the 2 Boyz squads I've mostly built and just put on the bases for now. I haven't glued them in, or at least I think I glued the first 1 or 2 in, and then I decided not to do that just in case I wanted to do something different. But they're Boyz. They're not going to be very high priority in my army, despite how good they look. So I'm going to base them. I don't know yet. I don't know a theme for bases, but I'm just going to give them a basic base. And also the Boss Nob for each is going to be basically based. He's going to have a basic base as well. You know, I'm not going nuts for the things that cost like a low amount of points. You know, it's a horde army, can't afford to do like loads of detailed bases for all of the cheap things. When we come to the Death Copters, they already come with a plastic like base that they mount onto, so I'm going to keep that. They're my first vehicles, so I'm just going to maybe do some paste or just do some accents around it and just make it a little bit more interesting, but otherwise like that's mostly done. So the 2 that are going to actually need some decent basing is going to be the Death Dread. He's partly built here, you know, he's missing his jaw, he's missing his arms. I want to magnetize some of the guns so I can swap them out. I'm a Bad Moon player apparently, so Bad Moons use guns. Who knew? So yeah, I'm going to want to magnetize those somehow, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. As well as the Mega Boss in Mega Nob, or the War Boss in Mega Nob armor. That's it, in Mega armor. He's going to have his own sort of base. He does come with another plastic bit that you can put on his base, but I want to make him a bit more interesting as well. So he's not glued down yet. He's not glued down yet. We'll get into basing another time. But yeah, that is the Combat Patrol built. I don't know when the next video will be out. It will probably be either prepping the bases or spraying something. I don't know which one I'm going to paint first. I've already done a box of Boyz, and I don't want to think people like all I paint is Boyz. So I'll have a think of what to paint next. Whether I paint something different than the Orks, or whether I come back and just carry on smashing through this project. The weird thing when you're making videos is Warhammer's an expensive hobby. When you want to make videos about it as well, you have to fit the video making in with that hobby. So I could have painted, based, and made loads more progress. I could have had like the entire wall behind me just painted by now. But because I'm also trying to make room for videoing and whatnot, it makes things a bit slower. I can't just sit down and paint. So yeah, things will happen when they happen. I don't know what's going to come next, but I would very much appreciate your support. Let me know any tips and tricks you have to painting Orks, and I will see you in the next one.